False positives on new product or features are the most painful part of creating a product. It's so depressing to work hard on designing and building a new product or feature only to have no one use it. This video explains how to validate demand with a prototype. The point of prototype testing is elegantly explained in a framework that my friend Dan Olson, who's a lean consultant and regularly gives seminars on lean techniques. Dan uses this framework of breaking a feature into the problem space and the solution space. Let me highlight the differences using an example of the Apple Watch. Let's say you're interviewing people for a product and you keep hearing, "It's difficult to manage my health." Okay, sounds like a problem we could solve, and with a watch maybe. As the product team tasked with building a smartwatch, you can imagine an elegant solution that manages your health through the watch. You can think of all kinds of great different app ideas and solutions. But there are many ways to solve this problem. For example, there's dedicated health training watches that are super featured and very specific to this specific problem. Maybe just a simple app on your phone that you already own can solve this problem. Or even an analog solution. Sometimes analog solutions work better than digital solutions for solving problems. The point of demand validation testing is to validate your solution to the problem. So how do you do this? Unfortunately, you can't simply ask a customer if they would use a feature or buy a product. If it were only that easy, our jobs would be so simple. The problem with this question is that it doesn't require a commitment from the respondent to actually say yes. There's no cost to the person for answering this question, and thus the response can't be trusted. It isn't until you make saying yes actually cost the test respondent something that they really start to analyze it, that they start to make trade-off decisions. There are 3 ways to make saying yes cost something to the test respondent. We call this the cost question. You can ask them for their time, their reputation, or require investment. Let me explain this with an example, again, going back to the Apple Watch. Here's the solution, the idea that we have. Apps on a watch that specifically focus on making it easier to manage your health. A time commitment question could be, are you willing to give me your time without compensation? If a person is truly interested in your solution, they will absolutely give you their time without requiring cash compensation. Because this is a demand validation test. Note, this is different than a usability test where you're just testing whether a person can actually do something. You don't care whether they care about it or not, whether they want it or not. You just want to see if they can do it. And thus, for usability testing, you probably do require some sort of financial incentive for their time. But for demand validation testing, you need to make it cost something for the customer to say yes, that they have to be truly excited about the solution after trying that prototype, that they're willing to give you their time for free. And that's the first part of validating demand. Another cost question is reputational. Specifically, is the test respondent willing to leverage her reputation on your company's behalf only because they're excited about your product, not because you're paying them to do so? Social media is one form of this type of test, as well as inviting friends. Could they invite friends to your user testing research? And the third is the third cost question is getting an actual financial commitment to a pre-buy. Now, oftentimes when I talk about this with customers or I give a presentation, people say, well, no one would buy something before it's built. That's actually not true. I'm sure most of you out here have heard of Kickstarter, where products are pre-purchased and programs are pre-purchased well before they're ever built, often just off of a video or a set of slides. But this happens in consumer, it happens in B2B all the time. And B2B technology solutions are always pre-sold or very often pre-sold into customers well ahead of their build. In summary, a demand validation test puts a prototype in front of a potential customer in their natural environment and then asks some form of the cost question, either their time, their reputation, or their money. It's best to do this test on at least 20 respondents and then review the results. If it's clear that there's demand, or frankly, if there's not demand, then you have your answer. If it's unclear, you can certainly try it with another set of respondents. But after a while, if you've tried it over and over again and the results are still unclear, then that's probably your answer as well.